Hey guys, Greg here, Fly with Koa, and this video is actually just talking a little bit about what it costs to fly a plane. And I'm going to use that trip that I just did to Chicago and Michigan because I like talking about it, but also because it gives me real numbers to play with. So here's a little bit about the cost of that flight compared to had I rented. Plane ownership versus rental. Everybody always wants to know that question. So here's some facts. All right, so when I lived in Maine, I rented a plane. I flew out of Oxford, it's 81 Bravo. And when I rented a plane there, it was $180 an hour to fly. 185 actually, I think it was. And so if we use that trip, that 23 hours, that would have cost me $4,255 for that one trip renting their plane. Now down here in Virginia, where I live now, there was a club. It was $125 an hour and $60 a month. So for that 23 hours at $125 an hour, that would have been $2,875 for that 23-hour trip alone. Now I own a 150, so to try to do a little bit apples to apples, since what I was renting was 172s, there is a 150 that you can rent here in Lynchburg. That is, I think, $100 an hour, plus there is a monthly fee of $100, so roughly $2,400 to rent a 150 going apples to apples. So to recap, to rent a 172 in Maine would have been $4,255. 172 in the club, $2,875. A 150 in a different club, $2,400. Now, where I live now, it's an hour drive to rent either of those planes. So not only do I have to pay that, but I have gas to and from the airport. I also have that hour wasted time each direction plus my flight. I just couldn't do that anymore. So that's why we went ahead and we bought a plane. We bought a Cessna 150. And when I talked about the cost, $4,255 to do it from the plane in Maine, or $2,875 to do it with the club down here, or $2,400 in the 150, that was just the airplane cost. Now, doing this flight in my plane, the Cessna 150, we did it for, I think I said $1,500, and I had it written down here, $1,534.51. But that covered everything except for the hangar, the maintenance, the repairs, and the upgrades of the plane. So I covered hotel, gas for the airplane, taxi, food, everything in that trip, $1,500. I had $900 left over extra from that 150. I had $1,300 left over from that club, and roughly $33,000 left over if I was still flying in Maine. So there's plenty of money if I'm going to do that trip more than one time per year to cover the maintenance, to cover the repairs,